Coming out on theaters on Friday, May 27th, is a movie called Dinner in America.
Hey, Mom, can I go see a rock show with Shishi and Karen on Friday?
Rock concerts are bad news.
Come on, I never get to do anything fun.
You really need to take it down a notch.
The Heat got a real hard-on for you, man.
They upped the reward.
They said you assaulted some lady, tried to burn her house down.
Mom!
Get out!
You see anyone suspicious running around back here?
You got someplace around here we can go?
I'm on 5 different medications.
Are you gonna eat that?
I want you to take me to the concert on Friday night.
We don't like rock concerts for her because of the strobe lights.
You're thinking of a rave.
What's that?
Conversations that make you say, buckle up! I drive nuts!
Are you both on dope?
Oh!
Do you think I'm weird?
You are a total punk rocker. See what you got.
I'm a watermelon slammed into your driveway. So is this like a date? Crack me open so I feel
Check it.
I want my check! Are we going to jail?
Probably.
Music boyfriend, I'm your
Are you all right?
Call me and You need to take it down a notch.
It stars Kyle Gallner and Emily Skeggs. I don't even know where to begin because, spoiler alert, I love this film so much. I just got done interviewing Kyle Gallner for this film. We're talking about punk rock regarding Bleeding Audio. For me, this movie has punk rock written all over it. I don't know. For me to even say the word punk rock, it's probably being scoffed at by Eric Holmes and Bruce Perky. Maybe they'll give me the real definition of what punk rock is. But basically, the synopsis behind Dinner in America is, quote unquote, an on-the-lam punk rocker and a young woman obsessed with his band go on an unexpected and epic journey together through the decaying suburbs of the American Midwest. And that is the premise of Dinner in America. It sounds like a very general kind of interesting road trip movie, but it's a lot more than that. At least I think so. Eric Holmes, is Dinner in America, does that plot synopsis about they're a punk rocker and a young woman, they go on an epic and unexpected journey? Is it so? Is this movie an unexpected and epic journey for you?
It's certainly unexpected. But first, I would like to comment on if you're gatekeeping, you're not punk rock, you're a poser. So let that be known.
Very good. Right?
The whole idea of being punk is you're an outsider and you find other outsiders and you build a community through there, whether that's through music, any form of art, or maybe just appreciating art or music. So it's not, they say it's not the music, it's a mindset, man. But if you're gatekeeping, you kind of lost the point, I think. That said, this movie is fucking awesome. I left Dinner in America for last because it was called Dinner in America. I'm like, oh fuck, not another one. Let me watch There Are No Saints. And I watched There Are No Saints. I'm like, this is fucking what I'm waiting for. This is what I watched There Are No Saints. Watch Bleeding Audio. I'm like, all right, it's pretty decent, pretty decent music, dog, whatever. Oh god, I gotta watch this Dinner in America. And I put it on, and like the first 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, what is this? And as the movie goes on, I'm like, did Anderson write and direct this?
Our buddy Anderson Gowan, that is, from Groupers.
Yeah. And this movie has all the fun and energy of stuff like Stoned Age, like Slacker, Clerks, stuff like that, where it's a bunch of young ne'er-do-wells doing young ne'er-do-well kind of things. Fuck, even Grouper, I'll even put Groupers in there. The longer this movie went on, the more I was enjoying it. Fuck, it even had like a really strong Uncle Peckerhead vibes. It was just, this is just a really fucking good movie. You don't see many like it. There's trigger warnings. They use the F word, and I'm not talking about fuck many times. Usually it's the, hey,
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. If that is a trigger for you, they say it a lot in this. Usually the assholes say it, but you know, the main character, you know, that's a thing. If you're not into that, stay away. You know, I can't, you know, fault you for that. But yeah, this was just a really dirty and kind of fun movie. Sweet at times, oddly, even when it shouldn't be. There's you know, a lot of pro drug use, pro sex. It's weird because as debaucherous as this movie is, it's kind of sweet in parts, and I can't quite put my finger on why that is, but I just really enjoyed watching this movie. Really enjoyed spending time with the characters, even though the characters are often fucking, you just want to choke the shit out of them sometimes. Yeah, I dug this one quite a bit. And don't let the name fool you. Dinner in America is probably one of the worst names for a movie I've ever heard that's this good.
That's this good. Bruce, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Harold and Maude.
Harold and Maude. Simon is played by Kyle Gallner, and Emily Skeggs plays Patty. I know Bruce is going to roll his eyes when I say this, but Harold and Maude, a mismatched pair that really works. In this film, Simon and Patty, they are a total, you're thinking right from the get-go, it's a totally mismatched pair, but for some inexplicable reason, they work, the chemistry is there, and their friendship and their relationship really highlights how just really cool this film is in so many ways. I'm going to add regarding barrier to entries that Eric was talking about regarding the F word. Simon is not exactly the most likable character the first 20 to 35 minutes of the movie.
I'd say through most of the movie.
Eric corrected me, and he was correct in saying that through most of the movie. So just be warned that this is not a warm and fuzzy guy who's anchoring your narrative, okay? So there's a lot of things that might trigger you, but I think if you actually have some of the patience, you might get a lot of really good stuff from Dinner in America. Bruce Perky, your assessment of this film.
Yeah, I am very high on this film as well. I was trying to kind of nudge you guys a little bit as I was watching it, but not too hard. I didn't want to influence you too much, but yeah, I like this movie quite a bit too. We did all the comparisons. I'll throw my own comparisons out there. I was thinking as I watched it, if you took Sid and Nancy and you kind of spun it a little bit through Napoleon Dynamite and then spun it the other way through like John Waters, maybe, you kind of get in the middle of this. I mean, you've got what? You got a low-life drug addict, pyromaniac, ne'er-do-well, and a nerdy, super awkward, possibly on the spectrum girl who sends photos to her. We won't even say that. I won't talk about that.
Yeah. That's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah.
We have the dreaded animal trauma, but we don't see it happen. But I would say I approve of what happens in this movie with the animal trauma.
It was found animal trauma.
True. There is very broad moments in this movie that work really well. And I know it's a terrible title, but that being said, there are at least 3 dinner scenes in this movie that are fucking fantastic. And this movie is all about characters. They're crazy characters, they're really broad characters, they're really over-the-top characters, but if you can dig the vibe, it's a fucking hell of a lot of fun. And like Eric says, there is a weird sweetness underneath all of it, and that's even more unusual. Okay, here I go again. So, remember the whole thing where David Lynch was challenged and he did the Straight Story? That was like something far out of his wheelhouse. And they would say, well, this isn't out of anybody's wheelhouse, is it? This director, I was looking up afterwards, did this director do anything else I've heard of? Oh yeah, he did a movie called The Bunny Game. Have you ever heard of The Bunny Game? The Bunny Game is one of the only movies to ever be outright banned in the UK. Like banned. It can't be shown in the UK. It's like if the guy who made Sallow or Serbian Story then went and made like E.T. That's the amount of difference between that movie and this movie. And you could just look up like a trailer if you can find an uncut one of Bunny Game, and you'll be like, oh shit, I don't want to go to any of you guys, but this movie, nothing this guy makes I want to see. You do want to see this movie. It's really good. It's really good.
It's funny, the Bunny Game I'm looking for, I was trying to look for it on Just Watch, and I could not find it. It's not available for streaming, or you can't purchase it on YouTube. It's one of those things.
Pornhub?
I checked. I've never heard of it. Never heard of that place, Eric Holmes. But yeah, I will check on that as well to see. But yeah, but
just click on it and sign in.
Sign in.
It should automatically autofill.
Right.
Do you remember that I mentioned Sallow and a Serbian film? So tread lightly. But that being said, this movie is, I think, going to be a discovery for a lot of people. If this catches your vibe and you can get into the mode of this movie, this is absolutely going to be a cult favorite. This is going to be a cult favorite, no matter what.
Well, Eric and Bruce, you're more steeped in this music. How's the music in this film? There's the watermelon song. What do you guys think of the overall soundtrack, the music to it? Did you enjoy the music that was being laid out in this film as well?
You're talking about the tum tum dum dum.
The watermelon song.
That is a complete earwig. I just keep having that just go over and over in my head. The psyops, when the psyops play their show, that was, that reminded me of watching Fall Silent playing the basement of the power pad, just someone's basement. I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. It's it kind of cheats a little bit on some of the music, but not too much. It's almost kind of like Green Room. Like when you watch Green Room, at least when I watch Green Room, I'm like, oh yeah, Jeremy Saulnier, he's been to some shows. He gets it. This is one of those kind of movies where I don't know if the writer and director have been to shows. It certainly seems like they have. And yeah.
Well, and Eric, you talked about like punk rock and gatekeeping, all that stuff, right? And this movie actually plays with that whole idea, right? Yeah. Like, because he's in a band and he's like trying to be like, how hard can we be and not selling out? And the band's like struggling with that. And then you get to see how he lives his life on the streets, but then you get to see him go to his home for a little while. So there's a whole bunch of little elements in here that kind of play around with that idea too. Like, how tough are you? And is it all for real, or is it all for show, or is it really real, or what is it,
But the good thing this movie does is that character, he's hey, we're not going to sell out, blah blah blah. He's a piece of shit though. Like his life is not put together, and I know so many people like that. Like they do the bands, but they don't have their life together, and they're constantly like getting in trouble. Not all of them. That, by the way, just because you're in a punk band or a metal band or whatever doesn't mean you're constantly hurting people, because a lot of the stuff this guy does is stuff I wouldn't approve of. But this is a movie, and you just kind of you got to go with it, knowing that just because he's the protagonist doesn't mean he's good. if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a very layered character, very very layered character. A lot of the stuff he does is definitely not good, but you'll see by the end of this film whether you think he's good or not, or maybe a little bit of both. Dinner in America. Let's start with you, Bruce Perky. Your rating on the film.
I will probably go 4.5, but this could become 5 stars pretty easily. I'll see. It's going to get rewatches, and we'll see how it grows in my mind. But it's 4.5 at least.
At least, my goodness, with room to grow from Bruce Perky. Eric Holmes, your rating on Dinner in America.
I was going to give this 5 stars, but they show a license plate that says 69 your mom. So I'm giving this movie a 6 out of 9 stars, or 6.9.
Really?
Stars.
No, do they? Do they really do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
They peel out in the truck, and the license plate says 69 your mom. I'm like, I can't give this movie any less than 6.9 stars.
6.9 stars, the highest. Okay, listeners, when Eric Holmes gives
this is higher than a 3-star banger. This is the only way you can get higher than a 3-star bang.
This is higher than 5 stars. This is like on the level of Bruce Perky's 5-star. What is it? 5-star golden star or 5-star classic star? Right? 5-star classic star.
Classic. Yeah.
5-star. What is your version? Right? Am I correct, Eric Holmes? Your version of a 5-star Bruce Perky 5-star golden star classic star is a 6.9. Is that the highest rating you can give a movie?
Yeah, 6.9 is pretty. I mean, this movie needs to win all the Oscars.
Okay, and since
there's no way in hell this is going to win anything. In fact, what I'm really disappointed in is that this movie's just gonna kind of not do anything. But this is like one of those movies that's gonna kind of probably. I hope not. I hope this isn't the case. But what'll probably happen is this movie comes and goes. No one hears about it, and then a couple years down the line, someone's gonna find this on Blu-ray or whatever, streaming somewhere, and like, hey, I watched this movie, Dinner in America. Sounds stupid. I know it does. But dude, come here, check this out. And then they'll start playing it for him. And then that person will go tell, like, Bruce is right. This movie has cult classic written all over it.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, and in all fairness, 6.9 stars out of Eric Holmes. Bruce Purkey gives it. Yeah, I'm gonna say eventually Bruce Purkey's gonna come around and give it 5 stars. But for now, I mean, he's giving it a generous 4.5 stars. And since I'm not dinner in Alabama, Sir Zavasti. I'm not dinner in America, Eric Holmes. I'm dinner in the San Fernando suburban plebe, Greg Sir Zavasti. I'm just gonna give Dinner in America. This is a 5-star banger for me. So I loved Dinner in America so much. This is a 5-star banger. Ding, ding, ding. Look, it hits, to Eric Holmes' point, it hits theaters. Yes, theaters Friday, May 27th. Should they see this movie in theaters? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes, and bring some like-minded friends. Again,
get some friends.
Keep in mind what we said earlier. F words abound, and I'm not talking fuck. So keep in mind.
This is a get a little buzz on and go watch a movie kind of movie too.
Bruce Purkey, it's your job. We have about 560 members on our Cinematics Facebook group. Call to action, telling everyone to go to the theaters and go check out Dinner in America.
Most of them. I don't know if this is Angie Clark's vibe, but I would say most of them are up for this.
Yes, very, very good. Again, look, try seeing it in theaters Friday, May 27th. At the very least, when it comes out on June 7th, it comes out on June 7th on digital and on demand as well. We will be covering this movie as the weeks progress. Just to remind you guys to watch Dinner in America, see if we're wrong or right. Tell us what you think of the movie, Eric Holmes. Yes, sir.
When you go, bring some friends and bring them to the movie theater to watch this. Look, Finder Film does not condone drug use, but I do, so sneak in some drugs too.
Okay, very, very good. Well, yes, I think they call it drogas. So I do not. Me and Bruce are not endorsed. What do you and I endorse, Bruce?
I would endorse. What you do is you get a watermelon and spike it, and just bring it with you. Just bring a bunch of giant straws and just go to town.
Yes. Well, I suggest since I'm the business minded chill of the group, go bring your film glass and pour some what, Eric, on it? A little bit of whiskey, a little bit of beer.
Just crush up some Sundays and Mondays and sprinkle.
Yes, I have no idea what Sundays and Mondays are. Okay.
No one does. Except.
Okay, so that is Dinner in America. That is, I guess that's last but definitely not least. That was the best out of the 3 that we reviewed this week.